Welcome to this episode of Catholic Momcast. I'm your host, Maria Johnson, and with me today I have two very special guests. Well, actually, one very special guest and one regular person. Hi, Allison. Allison,
Hi,
who
I'm
are
your.
you
Thought of as regular.
with?
I, I am the regular person.
Oh,
And Father Charlie McCoy can be the irregular person. But
exactly.
there we go.
That fits. That
You
fits.
probably remember Father Charlie from our fun Bluey episode. But we're back today to talk about film. And I'm so excited to have both of you here because Allison is jumping for joy at the idea. And Father Charlie, I love you. You're so nerdy and excited about things like this.
Thank you.
So
Thank
we're going to be we're going to have a great show.
High compliment. If you're a math person, to be called a nerd. That's the goal. That's the goal.
You're probably used to it. So explain what it is that we're going to talk about today because I'm just driving the ship.
So Pope Leo, I guess, has a meeting coming up, or maybe it's already happened now with some Hollywood folks. And all I know is that in advance of that meeting, they released his four favorite movies of all time. I don't know if there was sort of a bigger statement sort of accompanying that. All I saw was the list of his four favorite movies. That's all I know about it. But you guys are in more the know of media and film. Allison, do you know any more about it than that?
I just saw the list as well of his four favorites. It was part of a conversation, a little video clip that I saw online. And so when Father, you were like, hey, we should have a conversation about those, two of them specifically, because
Yep.
we're in the Advent, Christmas, almost in the Advent season, leading into the Christmas season. I said, that's a great idea, but you have to come talk with us. So here we
And
are.
I'm never going to pass up a chance to talk about movies.
Amen. So what were the four movies?
So I think they gave them in order, right? So I think it was really his favorite through his fourth favorite. So it was It's a Wonderful Life, Sound of Music, Ordinary People, and Life is Beautiful were his four top movies.
Those are some great films.
Absolutely,
Yes.
yeah.
What are so Allison, what are your favorite? What would be your top?
Not to copy the Pope, but definitely A Wonderful Life and Sound of Music, but I would add White Christmas. I love Bing Crosby. I am the biggest Bing
Is
Crosby.
that the one with sisters? Is that the one?
Yes.
I've
Yep.
never seen it.
I will try to remain your friend. But I just love Bing Crosby, and I never and now there's a connection between Bing Crosby and Father Patrick Payton, because when Father Pat got to Hollywood, he cold called Bing Crosby. I love that story.
It's
just
amazing.
To get there and ask who's the biggest name in Hollywood. That's who I'm going to contact. And
Yep.
of course, in God's providence, he was Catholic and happy to help out. I love that. So I love Bing Crosby movies. White Christmas would definitely be the top of my list.
That's amazing. What about
Also,
you,
by the
Father?
way, Jimmy Stewart partnered with Father Payton.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah.
So, okay, another fun fact, and my Instagram photo is me at the hands and feet of Jimmy Stewart because he's my second favorite. My Instagram photo. So it's me
No way.
at
I'll have to check
Chinese
that
Man
out. Right, at the
Theater.
Chinese, the
yeah.
Chinese theater.
And I got my hands in Jimmy Stewart's because he is all right. So now, okay, now I can watch all the Jimmy. I'm gonna just binge the Jimmy Stewart movies.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, a lot of classics.
Yeah. I like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
That's a great
Boy,
one.
we need
that
that
was
today.
early. He was
Yeah,
super
yeah.
young in that one.
Yeah, surely was. Well, so what are your top picks there, Father?
So, I mean, among the Pope's movies, I mean, I'd probably order them in a little bit different way among his four. I'd probably go It's a Wonderful Life, Life is Beautiful, Sound of Music, Ordinary People. I mean, among those four, but sort of from some of my own movies, I'm a sucker for, even though it's like 4 hours long, the Charlton Heston Ben-Hur.
Love
That's my favorite of all time. That's more of an Easter movie than a Christmas movie.
Yeah, but they play kind of randomly. Oh no,
Oh.
we lost him.
We
They
lost
do
him.
play
We'll
kind
keep
of
talking.
randomly. Yeah, my favorite movie is The Trouble with Angels, and
I've never heard of that.
it's a 1966 Rosalind Russell Haley Mills film, and it's about a sassy teenage girl who just gets herself into all kinds of trouble, and so her uncle, who is her guardian, sends her off to a school, a convent school, and she's, I guess, marginally Catholic at the time, and in that, clearly they are a Catholic family, but she has zero interest in really pursuing anything that's going on other than smoking in the bathroom and cutting up. And but for me, I think it's one of the most beautiful, beautiful vocation films that you could find out there. Um, the Mother Superior, Rosalind Russell, is just compassionate but stern, and behind the scenes she has a very beautiful friendship with one of the other sisters, um, and if we could talk a little bit about whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie or not,
No, no.
because it takes place at Christmas.
The perennial debate.
Then I think that The Trouble with Angels is also a Christmas movie, because I think that the moment where her curiosity about how the sisters are functioning within their congregation, and where I think that one would say that she really, in that moment on Christmas Eve, as she's watching the nuns file into the chapel and reverently genuflect and then sing the beautiful hymns, is when I think the Lord spoke to her. So I call it a Christmas movie. I watch it every time it's on.
Nice.
So that's my favorite. That's my favorite. And then everything else that I like. Oh, I just saw a beautiful film last year, released last year, called Tine. It's a New Zealand film about a Samoan teacher who loses her daughter, and her dream loses her faith, and loses her desire to teach, and she's kind of forced into going into a private school to teach in order to retain the state aid that she's receiving, and starts a choir. So it's kind of like a serious Sister Act 2,
Wow.
because it revolves around a choral competition that the school administration is opposed to, and it's kind of a mess, but it's a huge story of loss, but with such an overtone of hope in it, that it's one of my new favorite movies. It's called Tina Mother, and I think it's only streaming at the moment on the Angel app.
Okay.
But if you can catch it where somewhere else, it's a beautiful film.
You have to check that
And,
out.
Yeah.
and I want to invite anyone that's listening or watching live or even recorded on our Catholic Mom Facebook or YouTube to let us know your favorite movies. Put them right there in the chat. We would, in the comments. We'll go back and check if it's catching us not live, or if you want to just put a comment, you can go to CatholicMom.com. There's a page there for the Momcast, and let us know your favorite Christmas movies. And if it's Die Hard, please don't bother.
I haven't seen that one either.
It's a great movie. I mean, again, the whole Christmas movie thing.
I love the movie. I just don't see it as a Christmas movie. But I actually saw it in the theaters back when it first came out. But
That's hilarious. So
Salty
what?
language, a warning, to the audience.
Oh,
Die Hard.
yes, very salty. That's a good word.
you think salty? That's the word we're gonna say. It's a little rude. So what about It's a Wonderful Life? Why do you think that is such a an important Christmas movie that so many people gravitate toward every year?
Allison, you want to jump in, or you want me to just go on and on about why
I
I adore this
I
movie?
would love you as our guest to go on and on.
So, just sort of warning at the beginning, like I might tear up at different points. Like, It's a Wonderful Life is a big trigger for me in certain ways. So, I mean, so Christmas movie, I think just because it really is sort of probably the most hopeful movie that's ever been made. I mean, sort of a movie just of enduring hope when things really, really seem at their lowest. And, that's such a great image for Christmas itself, that when humanity is at a very dark point, then God sends his son into the world and gives us hope. So, it's obviously just an incredible Christmas movie for that reason. It's set at Christmas, at least in terms of the climax of the movie is at Christmas, but it's not really necessarily a movie just about Christmas, but that idea of hope is huge there. And then, for why it's such a Catholic movie and why it's especially just such a beautiful movie for Holy Cross Family Ministries is the ways that prayer plays a role in the movie. I mean, a lot of people don't realize it's a movie that
Yeah.
opens with prayer.
Right.
I mean, what's happening is all you're hearing all these different people praying for this guy, and they're, literally voicing their prayers to God. And then all of a sudden there is sort of this zoom out, and you see sort of the cosmic nature of all these prayers rising up into literally the heavens, because it zooms out into this view of the planets. And then you see these prayers being heard by saints, by God. And so it's just for a movie to just start with prayer is just such an incredible thing for Holy Cross Family Ministries, for it to be like right there at the top of our list.
I've
So that's my
never
short intro.
I've never thought of that. I mean, when you said it, I pictured it completely. But I've never ever thought about the fact that it's such a beautiful example of God's, how our prayers are lifted to God, and
Send to
how,
God.
where two or more gathered in His name, like all of the, like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I never thought of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's really, really powerful. But so Allison, I've been doing all the talking. Let's, how about you? How come it's such a beautiful movie for you and a great.
Well, I have this thing in my heart for guardian angels. I just think, like, the guardian angels are, we just don't teach enough about them in our faith, and that we're never alone. Like, some people can say you feel so alone in that moment. It's clear George feels so alone, and he's not. Like, not only do all of these prayers for him, he's surrounded by all these people who love and care for him, that the Lord assigns a guardian angel to each and every one of us from the moment of our conception until our death. And we are literally never alone. They're always there to guide us, to lead us, to inspire us, to teach us. And I'd like to think mine is as bumbly as Clarence, and probably a little exhausted at this point.
I think my guardian angel is like the one that you always see with his head down.
No.
It's like Maria again.
Just to jump on that for a sec with the guardian angels, because again, even sort of the bumbling and stuff, the initial exchange between them in the little house, the cottage up above the bridge, and there's this initial exchange between them, and the one guy who's there, or sorry, Clarence goes, the guardian angel goes, George, your mouth is bleeding. And he goes, yeah, I got a bust in the jaw in answer to a prayer. And Clarence goes, I'm the answer to your prayers. And it's just such a beautiful line that his guardian angel is the answer to his prayers. And then when he talks about, I'm your guardian angel, he says, well, you look about the kind of guardian angel that I get.
Okay, so listeners, our homework, including me, is to rewatch this movie now with all of these little
I have that movie like
places.
memorized. It's psychotic, but great.
That's so awesome. I think it ends in prayer too, right? All of with the little girl praying at the end, or is it the little girl?
Okay, so can I give a little bit of crazy trivia here?
Yes.
Please.
They originally wanted the movie, Frank Capra's original idea was for the movie to end with them praying the Our Father, with them praying the Lord's Prayer.
Wow.
And
I never knew that.
which is, again, in some ways would have been really cool, but in other ways, as the movie people say, it might have been a little bit too on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
And so the way the movie ends is the bell rings on the Christmas tree, and his daughter Zuzu goes, "Oh, look, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings." And George says, "That's right, that's right." And then he looks up and says, "Attaboy, Clarence." And so what I love about it is it actually did end in a prayer, the kind of prayer that you pray when you're really friends with the saints or friends with your guardian angel. Like, it ended with a prayer, with George looking up to heaven and telling his guardian angel, "Attaboy, like you did it, you got your wings." And it's like, that's such a great, like, again, the beginning of more, not formal, but deep, petitionary, obvious, explicit prayer. And then at the end, this idea of, yeah, it ends with a prayer. Again, the prayer that you can pray when you are so intimate with the saints that you can talk with them like a friend.
Yeah,
And
I
yeah,
love those aspirations, and it ends just right. I think. Don't mess with.
All right.
the final cut. That's it. So, well, what about The Sound of Music? Because I
Well,
heard that you wanted. Oh, you want to say something else?
before we jump to that, I just want to just one more thing about A Wonderful Life, because I can't be the only one who's watched that and wondered what would the world be without me in it.
Yeah,
Mm, yeah.
I think that's what I love about that movie is that
totally.
it makes us look. I look at ourselves and realize. I hope that we matter. Like we can find at least one person. There was a study done many. I used to be a early childhood educator, and there was a study done years ago that they followed these children for 10, 20, 30 years, and they found that the people, the children, excuse me, that were most successful in their life, they could trace back to just one person, just one who made them feel valuable. It wasn't a whole village. It wasn't, it doesn't even have to be a parent. It could be just one person, a teacher, a coach, a neighbor that made them feel like they mattered, that their life was important. And those people, and they were following children of great poverty, I should point out. And the ones who were the most successful, which means like they went on to, most of them get out of poverty, kind of just have a life where they would say, whether they had money or not, whether they had a big career or not, that they had a fulfilling life and that they were happy or at peace or whatever word you want to use. They could trace it back to this one person who at one time in their life made them feel important. So I feel like that movie for me always like makes me contemplate back. Like I know that I've struggled like in my own life with self-esteem and different things along the way. And I was a very angsty teenager. I had a very difficult childhood. But I know that I have this great faith. I have this great this a life that I feel is worthy, and I'm at peace with it because I can trace it back to this one woman, this friend of my mom, my mom's, my best friend's mom. Why is that so hard to say? My best friend's mom, who just would take the time to talk with me, to share her faith with me, to just, make me feel important by feeding me and just listening to my stories. And she didn't do anything special. She was just a gracious host when I'd come to her house. And she changed my life. I actually call her my seed planter of faith, right? So
Wow.
I think we all, I would hope that if anybody's listening to this and is wondering themselves right now, like, I don't feel like I'm of value to anybody or I'm valuable in life. Look back to somebody, just one person who looked at you once and said something kind to you or affirmed something, your gift or your talent, and know that people don't give away compliments just to make people feel better. We're too selfish. If they're saying something nice, it's because they truly mean it and you do have value.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's so
lovely. Yeah.
beautiful.
And remember to send up a little prayer, like at the end of the movie, and just thank God for that person in your life.
Amen.
Beautiful.
Thank
Well, we I don't think we're going to cover all the movies, but
This is a special episode. We can go a little bit longer. I'm
I
giving
need
us
to know.
permission.
I need to know why where did he go? I need to know why Father Charlie had to rewatch The Sound of Music when everybody knows it like the back of their hands.
Well, we can ask him in a minute because he's back. Again, I think, again, we can go a little bit. There we
There we
go.
go.
Not sure why this keeps happening. I apologize. I don't know what's really going on.
That's all right. We'll edit the sound. We'll edit the sound later. So, Father Charlie, I need to know why you felt a need to rewatch The Sound of Music before coming on this show. Because come on now, we watch it every year, right?
So
Ah,
I like the sound of music, but I have to be honest. I was telling Allison this is what I was saying. We needed to have a watch party before. I hadn't I hadn't seen Sound of Music since I was about 25. I watched it with some really good friends. I hadn't seen it at that point, and so I've really only seen the Sound of Music beginning to end once in my life. I liked it a bunch, but that's the only time I've seen it. And I'm a big Julie Andrews fan, but for some reason it just wasn't part of my family's like
ah,
holiday tradition. So again,
well,
great movie, but you guys are going to have to be the experts on this one.
well, that's another beautiful location. story. And Maria thought that she had a vocation to become a religious sister, and or actually they were cloistered. Did you know what? Do you know what the order is?
No.
I lived in Germany for a while, and we actually went to Austria, and we went and we did the Sound of Music tour. So I danced in the gazebo,
Oh, that's fun.
and the swans
Fantastic.
and the swans are like a mile and a half away from where they are in the movie, and the front of the house is not the same as the back of the house. They're two different locations. That
That's
was
interesting.
crazy. But I did go to the cemetery, which
Wow.
didn't look at all like it looked in the movie. And it occurred, we were like walking through it, and this was in the late 80s, mid to late 80s. So it had already been 20 or 30 years since the filming of the movie. And I told John, do you know how many people have died since that time? That the cemetery wouldn't look the same. And
Oh,
we went to the cathedral, and so
Wow.
took a peek in it. So that was really cool. But I think it's a beautiful vocation film because, again, she wasn't meant to be a nun. She was meant to be a mother, a wife, and a mother. And so that's I think that that's the theme of, of the movie, or one of the themes of the movie, is to embrace this theme of searching for your vocation, listening to God, praying about it. That was what the Mother Superior told her to consider all of these things and to listen for the voice of God in this decision. So I think it's a great vocation movie. So clearly vocations have been on my mind for a minute. Two films.
but I'll live a little
Three
fun.
if I say Tina, because her vocation was to
Oh,
be a teacher, really.
I just have a little fun fact. So the family eventually moves obviously comes to the United States. They settle in Vermont, and one of the sons, the youngest, settles in Rhode Island, Cumberland, or I believe it was Cumberland, Rhode Island. And my dad knew him,
That's
Really?
cool.
like the real. Yep, yep.
That's awesome.
He never really explained like how well he knew, if he had just met him a couple times or if he just like walked by him. I don't know, but because my father wasn't a big musical fan, so I'm thinking they met. Yeah, but he lives right like just down the street. So my dad, little fun fact.
No,
But
that's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, on the vocation side of things, that is really a great movie. Just thinking about the combination of like her stubbornness on the one hand, but her openness on the other hand. And I feel like that's what you have to sort of find and sort of like endure in your vocation. You need that great combination of like stubbornness and openness, like because you got to keep listening to the voice of God, obviously. But if you're not a little bit stubborn, then when if the devil sort of gives you sort of some assault, or if just people in your life are kind of naysayers or whatever, like you won't be able to endure. So kind of that beautiful combination, I think, of openness and stubbornness that character shows so well, I think is really important to living your vocation well.
True, true.
and so so my vocation is motherhood, but also it's adoptive motherhood. So one of the things that I kind of found really sweet, and this I've watched this years before I became an adoptive mom, is watching Julie Andrews character just love these children, for
Yeah.
them to like, because it's hard. And that same, like when I first met my daughter, she did not love me. She was almost 4 years old. She was not having me as her mother, and that it was very difficult because she rejected me. She wanted her dad, or a new dad. She wanted Kevin, but didn't want me. But just knowing that if you can find that common ground, if you can bring fun into the relationship, if you can just keep loving them and building that bond of trust, which is what I did with my daughter. I just kept providing the things that she needed and praying a lot, and seeking guidance like she did, like from other people to pray for me and to walk with me. So that's a little how I kind of the different way I see and love that movie, as I see her becoming a mom, a stepmom. But to me, adoptive mom is kind of the same thing when you just bring that child into your home. So,
That's so many beautiful things to unpack about that movie. I hadn't even considered that aspect of it. But yeah, very beautiful, Allison. Thank you for sharing that.
and it's just fun to sing, all of it.
It does have great songs, right? I mean, every song in that is a banger.
I mean, how many people have left
Okay.
this? How many people have left an event going so long, farewell?
Well,
Adios and good night.
you can imagine how many times I've heard.
I
Okay,
solve
there
a
you go.
problem like Maria. Maybe that one might be the one you were thinking.
Could be. Could be.
My best nun, Mother Superior nun singing voice I could find.
Incredible.
So when I became the local superior back in Portland, for whatever reason, my older sister insisted on calling me Mother Superior, and she would reference Sound of Music in those ways.
Tapping into your feminine side. Not a bad thought. All right, so what other films are on this list? What was the third one?
Ordinary
Ordinary People?
People and Life is Beautiful.
All right.
Well,
Well, I am familiar with Life is Beautiful. I haven't seen Ordinary People in 100 years, since
oh,
last century.
well, Father and I were actually thinking maybe we'd cover them another time and just cover these two for this one,
For Christmas.
for the Christmas Advent season. And that
Perfect.
gives me a time to watch them because I haven't seen either.
Yeah, let's come back and do those. We'll
Yeah,
do
I would
part
love
two.
that. I
Yeah,
would
that's
totally love that. So let me ask you guys, because again, I like Sound of Music is not one. I am remembering, right? That is a movie that oftentimes people do watch around the holidays, right?
yeah.
Like, why is that? Is there a famous Christmas scene in the movie that I'm
Yes.
misremembering? Is that like when they sing Edelweiss, or what's the
Yes.
Christmas scene?
So I can't think of a specific Christmas scene in it.
That's
Other
not the
than
party. The party's not a Christmas party when they sing "So Long Farewell" and
no,
"Edelweiss."
I
And
don't
no,
think.
it's just a party that they're having. They do
Yeah,
the do re
their
mi.
engagement or whatever is.
Oh,
Because I wonder,
yeah. I
because I
wonder.
know a lot of families like that. That was a movie that they would watch around Christmas, but I
I think it's
don't.
just a really good family movie,
It's a
but
good
I don't know.
family movie, which
I
makes
wonder if it was released at Christmas. I remember seeing it. Oh my gosh, how old am I in this group? I remember seeing it in theaters.
Yeah. For some reason, I've always thought in my mind that that was a
That was a Christmas
Christmas.
party? It could have been. Okay, we're back to the Die Hard dilemma here. Is
right.
So
it
it
a
was.
Christmas
Is
film because there was a scene in it with a Christmas tree?
So it was released in 1965. So I would not have seen it in the movies, but I definitely saw it when it released on television.
a big anniversary for it. It's 60 years old.
Yeah. I think that they also play it at Easter too.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's yeah, like you're saying, it must just be kind of because it's such a great family
Yeah.
movie, and so when kind of families are around. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting too. I just thought about it right now that like three out of his four movies are sort of really having to do with World War II. So Sound of
Oh,
Music and It's a Wonderful Life both have huge
Yeah.
World War II kind of. I mean, that's a big sort of plot element.
Yeah.
I mean, in driving those, that there is because Sound of Music, right, is like in the 30s. Most of the action takes place, and then it is sort of the Nazis sort of taking over Austria towards the end of the movie, right? Like that's the timing
Right.
of it.
Yep. And that's why they get out because he has some political ties and he was at danger and then the whole family would have been at danger. So it's that I thought one of the more powerful moments in on this and was when Lisa is singing I'm 16 going on 17 and she's madly in love with this young boy who's clearly already becoming kind of indoctrinated
Wow.
into the Nazi thinking, and he loves her too, but yet he makes this decision to turn the family in. And I just thought of how many people kind of got blinded, right, by like what
Wow.
was happening and the messages and the propaganda to break that love for her, for country, for whatever reason, because he thought that was like more chivalrous. I guess that's how I always thought that Rolf thought he was just being this was better for more people than just this myself and this one person. Um, so there's a lot of those.
I think it has to do with perhaps what his own personal charism might be. I mean, the selection of Leo as his papal name and what that represents to us in terms of what was happening culturally at the time and what's happening today at the time. And those are relevant themes in terms of what we're experiencing in the culture today. So I'm not
Mm.
in many different ways. So maybe that's a little hint into some of his psyche. But while you were talking, I was listening, I promise, but I also looked up the movie. And in fact, it is not meant to be a Christmas movie.
Hmm.
I did the same thing.
One,
I don't want to
however,
say I was just focusing on every word that you were saying. I was not multitasking at all.
what
I
is
was
wrong with you,
listening
Father?
with complete attention.
This is why you are a priest and we are not. I mean that and you're a man, but yeah, this is why you're in the religious life and the two of us are hosting a podcast. So
That's right. We got to fact check everything. Yeah, so it's because of Liesel's song, right? The things that make her happy. These are
Oh,
the
oh
my
prettiest things.
favorite
Yeah,
thing.
my favorite thing.
yeah, my favorite things
So
that Julie Andrews sings.
snowflakes and sleigh bells and
Okay, there you go.
right.
Doorbells
So
and
it is a
schnitzel,
die-hard connection.
schnitzel on noodles. That's
I
that
love
sounds
schnitzel.
delicious.
I love schnitzel.
Not that I can have any of it anymore because I'm gluten or dairy free. Also said that most of the networks produced it in December. The favorite things ended up on many Christmas albums. Um, so yes,
All right. So
that is.
then Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I'm just
I'm
gonna
not, I'm
say
gonna die on that hill.
that it is or isn't. I guess I'm gonna have to watch it. I always claim that I'm gonna watch it, but all right, all right. So
No,
we
there
have
is a
to watch
Christmas
Die Hard.
tree in it. It's probably got more Christmas visuals
Well,
than
yeah, because
the sound of
the
music.
whole movie takes place on Christmas Eve. So absolutely.
All
It's
right.
like this. If you ever seen the movie Scrooged with Bill
Bill
Murray,
Murray, yeah.
it's
Yes.
that kind of Christmas movie. Like the one that he's promoting with the staple the antlers onto the mouse.
They can't just want to watch it. They'll have to be so afraid that they'll die if they don't see it.
Wow. All righty. Well, I think
That
that's a
didn't
great
make the Pope's list, but it could have. I mean,
it
Scrooge
could have.
is.
Adjustable,
Such a
adjustable.
good.
Well, he seems to be a very personable guy, so I think maybe we should send him this episode and ask him to explain himself.
There you go.
I think we'd have to do a lot more explaining than he'd have
Probably,
to.
probably. If we're still talking about, was it Gruber? What's the name of the villain? It was
Hans Gruber.
Hans Gruber. I know all of the little tidbits about it. I've just never seen it. Well, I think that this has been a stellar episode of silliness and maybe a little bit of insight into some movies. Any
That's kind of
final
life,
words?
right? Silliness and some moments of insight. Like that's my life, pretty
Yeah.
much. That's what I've got to offer for today.
We got it. So, any final words, Father? You'll be back for part two.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be fun to watch those other two and comment on those. Yeah, no, it's just super fun to talk about those two great movies. I mean, again, like if you haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life, go watch it. I mean, it's epic. I never understand sort of with both Sound of Music and It's a Wonderful Life. I don't understand people who think about them as like too like sentimental or too sappy or whatever. I mean, those movies are deep. I mean, yes, they're fun and they have their moments of silliness or just levity, but both those movies are just so deep and just reveal so much about just just the beauty of human life and family. I mean, yeah. So especially Holy Cross Family Ministries, again, two great movies for Holy Cross Family Ministries to plug as well as the Pope plugging them.
Fabulous. Well, thank you for joining us. And listeners, please, why don't you share with us what movies make out your beautiful Christmas season? And I guess this is airing at the beginning of Advent, so there's plenty of time to catch all of the good offerings right before Christmas. All right. God bless you, and we'll catch you next week.